Threatening and violent language from the GC Health Ministries. I have been making many videos about the history of the pro-abortion position of my Seventh-day Adventist Church, and several people have complained that my language is too confrontational or too strong. Well, if that's true, then you need to check this out right here from the top doctors at the GC Health Ministries. Dr. Albert Reese is the Dean of the University of Maryland School of Medicine. He also has a PhD and is a distinguished researcher, academic, and administrator. His particular fields of interest and research include pregnancy, diabetes, and obesity. He is a sought-after international speaker and has a passion to sound the alarm. Wow! A passion to what? Sound the alarm. So by definition, he is an alarmist and encourages advocacy in what? In combating the pandemic of obesity and diabetes. Okay, just stop and look at this. In just 2 sentences, this man is a passionate alarmist advocating combat. Now, think about this. I want you to stop and think for a moment what would happen if someone in the Adventist Church began to speak up for unborn children being murdered. The documented history of abortion in our church demonstrates many examples that if you speak out on behalf of unborn children, you will be ridiculed, mocked, and labeled as an extremist, weirdo, wacko, among other things. And a recent example, just a few days ago here on my YouTube channel, someone wrote this: "You are a freaking weirdo and a liar," all capital letters. "You must belong to the Catholic Church." Well, thank you for that. I'll accept that as evidence proving my point, but let's continue and finish reading this. He will be talking on diabetes, a target in the war on non-communicable diseases. Wow, a target in the war. Not just combat, this is war. This is very threatening and violent language. Can you imagine what would happen if any leader in the Adventist Church openly declared war on behalf of unborn children? I hope and pray to God that it will happen, and hopefully soon. Let's continue. He will be presenting his own research and cutting-edge concepts and approaches to equip attendees in assessment and prevention strategies of obesity and diabetes. And look what we have here. A compelling group that is highlighted is, importantly, those with no voice and also no choice, the unborn babies. No, this is not Photoshop. This is published right here at the official GC Health Ministries website. Here are several important points. Number 1, the leaders of our church know full well that the unborn are babies. They know this. Yet on the topic of deliberately killing those very same babies with abortion, they adopt completely different language in order to justify and support violence and murder of children in their mommy's womb. This has nothing whatsoever to do with the Bible, but everything to do with following the world and obtaining the praise and acceptance from their esteemed colleagues. This here is just more in-your-face evidence that leadership know full well about the humanity of the unborn, yet flagrantly ignore it. According to the leadership of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, even here in the GC, whether you are a human or not depends on how popular and politically acceptable you are. If you are not popular, if you are not politically acceptable, then you are not a human. Point number 2. Have you noticed that freedom of conscience and religious liberty propaganda does not apply to pregnant mothers who want to eat junk food or smoking, drinking coffee, or alcohol, but it does apply if you want to murder the baby, and I'll show you right here. There are many examples, but here are some right here from the very same GC Health Ministries website. According to Belgian researchers, banning smoking in enclosed public places leads to lower rates of preterm birth. Smoking during pregnancy stunts the growth of unborn babies and shortens gestation, so you should do what? Support smoking bans. Stop and think about this. The GC Health Ministries openly advocates legislation to stop smoking for the purpose of protecting unborn children from harm. But the exact same leaders oppose legislation to stop the physical torture and murder of those same unborn children. This is insane. And right here, support tobacco taxes, graphic warning labels, and bans because they work, even if the tobacco industry opposes them, even if you are opposed. Do you know what this is? This is madness. This is nothing but sheer madness. This is hypocrisy without parallel. And point number 3, this here is the most incriminating and damning sentence. These people are self-condemned, a compelling group. Importantly, no voice, no choice. Notice that the baby is important if it is wanted, if the mother made a choice to keep it. A compelling group with no choice and no voice. Like magic, if they are wanted, then all of a sudden they are important and do exist, but are so weak and powerless that you must selflessly advocate to protect them. The GC Health Ministries says that you must aggressively combat and play a part in this war to save unborn children. Even if the tobacco or any industry opposes you, it doesn't matter. You must advocate for legislation. But if a woman wants to take surgical pliers and rip the arms and legs off that little boy, if the mother wants to dismember that child while still alive, or rip the spine out of the back of a little girl, then you should just lay down like some pathetic coward and roll over and just accept this continual stream of misinformation and propaganda coming straight to you from the GC. And for those who complain, for those people who think I'm too forceful and strong, well, I want to apologize. I want to say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm not more forceful. I'm sorry that I'm not stronger with my language, and I absolutely refuse to sit here quietly and accept this. Mr. Brevard Sinclair stated, "Let me say then to hypocritical Pharisees that smoking a cigar may be a filthy habit, but that abortion is murder." The Advent Review and Herald stated that Mr. Brevard's effort to expose the evil of abortion deserves all encouragement and cooperation in his noble effort to expose and arrest this appalling evil. And the Signs of the Times stated that Mr. Brevard's anti-abortion message was a strong, brave utterance against an enormous evil. Would to God that we had leaders in our church today who demonstrated even 1/10 the backbone of Mr. Brevard Sinclair. Let me say then to hypocritical Pharisees that smoking a cigar may be a filthy habit, but that abortion is murder. The support and acceptance of child murder in our Adventist church is the work of demons. It is the inspiration of Satan. It is the result of sick and perverted minds who want to profit from premeditated murder of little children. And this hate speech and promoting of violence must be damned to hell. May God in heaven judge, condemn, and damn these lies and fraud to hell. I urge you to please contact the GC Health Ministries and demand that they explain why we should support anti-smoking legislation to protect unborn children when our own church supports murdering them. Contact the health ministries and ask them why it's not religious liberty for a pregnant mother to smoke a cigarette, but it is religious liberty to murder her son or daughter. Ask them why they want to war and combat and use threatening language for a baby getting too much sugar, but if that same baby is going to be tortured, then they will show open support for this violence. Do not let these people get away with this. They are getting paid holy tithe money. They are the leaders of the church, and they must be held accountable for this. Ask them why they call it a baby if it is wanted, but a pregnancy or fetus if it's not wanted. Ask them why drinking caffeine is so bad because it disturbs an unborn baby's heart, but completely destroying the heart with abortion, that's okay. If these leaders of health are so sure, then why haven't they produced even one Bible verse granting authority to intentionally murder a child in their mommy's womb? These propagandists in the church would inoculate others with this moral cancer and satanic gangrene. For over 48 years, the leaders in the GC Health Ministries have not produced not even one scripture to support this. They have been defending the pro-murder position of our church, and they don't even have a shred of evidence to support their satanic gangrene. This must stop, and it must stop now.